Hi everyone, and you are welcome to this lecture, What Python is. In this lecture, I'm going to define what Python programming language is. I will talk briefly about the history of this programming language. Also, I will highlight the most important features of Python programming language. I will mention some of job roles that benefit from Python. I will answer this question, why you have to learn this programming language. Finally, I will show you some of companies that use this Python programming language. As usual, I will end this lecture by a quick summary. So let's get started. So, what's Python? Python is a high-level programming language which is designed to be highly readable, where it uses English keywords frequently. I said here it's high-level because we have to use English keywords in order to write a program, and we don't use directly the machine language, in other words, the binary language. Python is an interpreted programming language, and from interpreted word here we can understand that the translator type in case of Python is an interpreter and it's not a compiler. Also, Python supports object-oriented programming and scripting programming. OOP is a new style of programming where we define our program as a set of abstract classes representing abstract concepts in our life, whereas scripting is the old style in which we write our program in a free style without any kind of abstraction. Now let's talk a little bit about history. When we talk about Python, we have to talk about Guido van Rossum, who is the developer of Python programming language, this man in this picture. This programming language has been developed in the late 18th and early 19th at the National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science in Netherlands. This programming language is considered relatively new comparing to other older programming language like C and C++, for example. When you start to learn a new programming language, you have to learn what the features of this programming language are. Now I am going to share with you the most important features of Python. Number 1. Python is very easy to learn, where it uses English keywords frequently, and in some places when you write your code in Python, you will feel that you write in English, not in a programming language. Python is a dynamic data typed programming language, and this means when you want to define a new data value, you don't have to specify the type of this value. Just define the value, and the interpreter later on will take the responsibility to determine the data type from the data value itself. Python is a portable programming language, so if you write your program in a Windows platform, for example, simply you can take this program and run it on a Linux or Mac platform with almost no change. Python is an extensible programming language, and this feature is quite important since it allows us to write an interface to other programs written in other programming language like C++, so we can take the benefit of the speed of C++, for example. The last feature I want to share with you is that Python is free and open source programming language, so you don't have to pay if you want to use this language. Its built-in libraries or any of its third-party developed and published online libraries. So, who uses Python? Currently, if you are one of the following, or if you are planning to be one of the following: data engineer, data analyst, data scientist, machine learning engineer or researcher, deep learning engineer or researcher, web developer, software developer, or other, Python is a great tool to be used during your job to make your life easier, and it's a very great skill to shine up in your CV. The big question now, why do I have to learn Python programming language? According to Indeed, one of the biggest recruitment companies in the world, in January 2020, Python has the highest number of job openings in United States of America, around 74,000 job opening. Also, a Python developer salary is one of the top 30 salaries of developer in USA, around $120,000 per year, as you can see from this bar chart. Keep in mind also that today is the era of data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning, in which Python is considered the programming language number 1 in the world to be used in these fields. So I guess high demands and high salaries are more than enough reasons to start your journey to learn Python from today. Now let's take a look about companies that use Python. Nowadays, there are a lot of companies use Python as a programming language. When I say they use Python, I mean they use Python as one of the programming languages used in these companies, not the only one. From these companies we have Google, Spotify, Facebook, Dropbox, Quora, Instagram, Netflix, and other. So, before I end this lecture, let me summarize what we have learned. First of all, I defined what Python is, and we see it's a high-level and interpreted programming language. We talked a little bit about the history, and we see that Python has been developed by Guido van Rossum. I highlighted a lot of Python features, including easy to learn, dynamic data type, and other. I mentioned some of job roles where Python programming language can be used, including data scientist, software engineer, and other. Also, I mentioned the most important reason about why you have to learn Python, and keep in mind that the two main reasons are high demands and high salaries. Thank you very much for your time, and if you are available, join me in the next lecture.